It's been exactly 10 years since Canon released this tank right here, the 5D Mark IV. And in 2026, everyone tells you that you need a mirrorless camera with AI autofocus and 8K video recording if you want to be a real photographer. So today I'm going to show you why this aging DSLR might be a better buy than, say, the newest iPhone or a lot of entry-level mirrorless cameras out there. And the one huge flaw you need to know before you buy it. Every week I see the same advice online. Don't buy old gear, mirrorless or nothing, DSLRs are dead. Meanwhile, people are struggling to book clients or upgrade their skills, or even afford a camera that doesn't look like a toy. So let's talk about something that no one wants to say out loud in 2026. Most people do not need mirrorless. And for right around $800, this camera might be one of the best values in photography right now.
I am listening.
So what does that $800 price tag get you? First things first, let's get this out of the way. Back in its day, this was a flagship camera, the working photographer's choice camera. So you're getting a full frame sensor, 30 megapixels, which is still overkill for 99% of work. That incredible Canon color science, one of the most reliable shutters that Canon's ever made, and weather sealing that laughs in the face of rain and dust and all sorts of chaos. That being said, it wasn't built for YouTubers. It was built for working photographers, sports, portraits, weddings, events, things that actually pay. Not to say that YouTube doesn't pay, it just doesn't pay me. Like and subscribe. Now here's the reason why it still makes sense, the uncomfortable truth, if you will. Most people buying mirrorless cameras aren't using half of the features that they paid for. Like eye autofocus, that's cool, but it only really matters if your subject is moving fast. 8K video, cool, perfect, great. If you have a cinema rig and storage the size of a refrigerator. With a camera like the 5D Mark IV, you have to focus on things like composition and lighting and story, because it's not gonna auto-cinema your footage. And besides, customers are never gonna ask what autofocus mode you were using. They just wanna know if the photos look good. And I get it, we find ourselves with the age-old question of DSLRs versus mirrorless cameras. And don't get me wrong, mirrorless cameras are phenomenal cameras. I've said this before. But they do come with a few trade-offs that people oftentimes aren't willing to acknowledge. They're so gung-ho on mirrorless are better, but these are objective things. I mean, it is my opinion, but they're also just true, I think. Let me know in the comments if I'm tripping, I guess. But the battery life is shorter. The smaller bodies do feel clunky and awkward in a lot of people's hands, especially with bigger lenses. And yes, some of the newer mirrorless cameras are beefier now, but we're talking about entry-level stuff. We're talking people getting into the game. We're not talking about seasoned professionals upgrading to the newest $4,000 or $5,000 bodies. And all the menu systems, they all seem like software updates instead of cameras. It's so much going on now. Granted, that last one might be a little subjective, but the point still stands. Now with the 5D Mark IV, one battery is gonna last you all day. The grip feels great in the hands. It's a nice beefy camera. It feels like you're really doing something. And with the optical viewfinder, you see the real world, not a digital screen with lag and blackouts and all other clunky stuff. It just works. Now, I've used mirrorless cameras before. They're cool. The electronic viewfinder, it's very cool. I will upgrade to a mirrorless camera eventually. I'm just making the argument here that things like this, relics, legends like the 5D Mark IV are not to be left behind. They're still phenomenal cameras. And if you're just getting into photography, it's something to consider. You're getting all these pro-level features just without some of the bells and whistles that a lot of newer mirrorless cameras have nowadays. And it works just fine. But, and yes, there is a but, that in the beginning, I will tell you about the one huge flaw, and it's the video. If you're looking to buy this camera expecting modern video features, then that's where reality is gonna hit.
No! Yeah!
Yes, it shoots 4K, but it comes with a heavy crop, so all of your wide angle lenses are suddenly not as wide. You're losing that full frame look. So you're suddenly backed into a corner trying to frame a shot. And on top of that, the 4K files are huge. They're what's called MJPEG, which apparently makes them a lot harder to edit, and older computers will struggle with these. And long recording sessions are gonna eat through your storage fast. There's also no focus peaking, no log profiles, no IBIS or in-body stabilization, and generally just very limited flexibility compared to today's modern mirrorless cameras and the video features that they offer. Now, while you can see this as a flaw, I don't necessarily, because that's not what I wanted the camera for. The 1080 video works perfectly fine. I don't shoot anything in 4K. The video you're seeing right now is shot on a crop sensor camera, big deal. Would it be nice to have in-body stabilization or log profiles or, you know, all of those cool things? Sure, of course. But that's not really what I need. I needed a camera for photography. And that's where a lot of people get burned. They'll buy this camera thinking, oh, it's great for photo and video. And it is, unless you're comparing it to the video that today's camera will offer. Because the truth is, this camera was designed when photography came first and video wasn't a priority, just an extra feature. I mean, it doesn't even have a flip out screen, which by today's standards seems kind of odd considering flip out screens are common practice for virtually every camera manufacturer. But 2016 was a different time. Video was an extra, not a priority. So if your main focus is video, there's better tools out there, even cheaper ones. So just be sure to do your homework before you go out there and spend a bunch of money on something that you might not necessarily need. But again, it's not a bad camera for video. It's just an honest one. It's not going to hide your mistakes with AI and animal eye detection and all those crazy things like that. It's not going to save you from bad lighting with 50,000 ISO. And again, it will not auto cinema your footage. So if you are planning on buying this camera and you are planning on shooting video with it, you have to really stick to the fundamentals: lighting, composition, storytelling. So I can say this with confidence. If you're buying this camera and photography is your focus, it's not a flaw at all. And if video is your priority, then understand that this camera isn't trying to be something it's not. It's a photography monster that can shoot video, but not the other way around. So who's this camera for? I'd say if you're a newer photographer who's looking for some pro level results, this camera's for you. Anyone who shoots weddings, sports, events, portraits, anyone tired of chasing specs over skill, or anyone who's looking for a camera that won't necessarily be obsolete in 2 years. And I don't know what the future holds for mirrorless cameras, but it just seems like we're leaving things behind sooner and sooner. So what out there will stand the test of time? It might be too soon to tell for some of the newer things because they need time to age, and we'll see how that works out. But the 5D Mark IV, 10 years later, is still an absolute monster. And lastly, if you're on a budget and you're maybe looking for something under $1,000 or so, this camera's for you. You're getting a lot of bang for your buck, and in my opinion, it might be one of the smartest buys you can make. I actually want to buy a second one myself, but I'm conflicted because I do also want to make the switch to mirrorless. Like I said, they're good cameras. All I'm saying is that doesn't make this a bad camera. And if you're a newcomer, you don't necessarily need all of those extra bells and whistles that you have to finagle. All you have to do is focus on mastering the fundamentals. Because gear doesn't make you a photographer. Using it does. And you might have heard that a million times, but I'll say it again because it's the truth. If you're looking for cutting edge technology, go ahead, buy a mirrorless camera. But if you're looking for a reliable workhorse that delivers, the 5D Mark IV still holds up. So drop a comment. Would you shoot with a DSLR in 2026, or is mirrorless the only option? And if this video helped you think a little differently about gear, then maybe consider hitting that subscribe button because I got a lot more honest photography talk coming. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.